It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Tuesday, which means it is Monday's hangover, and we are knee-deep in the Christmas season, I think. I know that some of you Riris out there, y'all are going to complain and say, well, the Lord was truly born in September under the second moon of the whatever eclipse. I get it. But nonetheless, we're celebrating around here. And my good buddy Stu Burguiere, the host of Stu Does America, is sitting over here. And I listen, I'm glad you're here to defend yourself, Stu, because we've been talking a lot of stuff. We've been saying a lot of stuff around here.
Really?
Yeah, we talk a lot of smack, dude.
That's hurtful.
Well, is it? We the thing about around here is they kind of use us like dancing chickens, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently, the Blaze has a lot of stuff they want to sell.
Yes.
This becomes yard sale central.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And they pit us against one another is what they do.
They do.
They go so far as to call it a war. I mean, these executives around here are like the John Bolton of merchandise. They are pushing
Hawkish.
this thing hard.
Yeah, they're hawks.
I mean, they are really pushing this thing hard. I feel like I'm a part of a flea market. But so anyway, I think my top seller so far is the Big Nick Energy right here, and I didn't bring it in last week, but we even have a matching cup, Big Nick Energy. You can go to chatonblaze.com, use promo code chat20, and of course Stu, I made the comment last week that I said that Stu always wins this thing. Sara Gonzales was in here, and she took offense to that. She said she won last year. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think either of us ever really truly keep up with it.
No. They tell us to say it because they want to schlock all the merchandise, right? They want it all out the door.
Yeah.
And I remember doing pretty well. Maybe Sarah was so good I just like deleted her.
Yeah.
It's like, she's in first place, but the fight is really for second. I don't know.
It really is. She's a woman, so it's white noise in a very tan white noise, very dark tan white noise. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. You had Power Hour this past Friday.
Yes.
I hated not being there.
We were despondent.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We were. You were truly missed. It didn't feel right without you there. It was still a good, fun show, but we need Chad Prather.
I watched it. It was a good show. It was a good episode. Alex Stein, I think, injured himself.
Oh yeah.
I mean, drinking games that wind up with fractured bones, that's a plus in my book. But it's always fun to do that, and I hated missing that thing. And I'm just, I think you should have a lot more of these things way more often. It's good.
It's funny because we had the Power Hour the other day. First of all, Alex Stein doesn't drink,
right?
So he is the most insane person at the Power Hour without any alcohol, which is very, very strange. But as I was recovering from this past one, I thought kind of the opposite. Maybe I should never do one again. Yeah. That's where I landed on it afterward.
Well, he posted the picture. He'd broken a bottle of wine before the thing even started off. I mean, it's just, it's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, it's a mess. And I'm old. Like, this is what I really realized. Like this is a good bit. I came up with this bit 2 decades too late.
Right.
If I was 22, 24, it would have been a blast, like everyone out there. Now it's like, we've been doing 2 a year of these things, and it feels like too much. I was thinking like maybe 1 a year next year.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what about, did you know St. Patrick's Day's on a Friday this year? That's the big pitch now. So they want to do a St. Patrick's Day one. So mark off St. Patrick's Day, because I think there's another one coming.
If you missed Stu's party, his Christmas party Power Hour, go back and watch it. Grab it on BlazeTV. Check it out on his YouTube, but go back and watch it. It's always worth the fun. What do we want to get into? I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I saw the picture that your wife Lisa posted of like this, what is it, a 40-foot Christmas tree? You guys are doing great at the Burguiere household.
Thank you. Well, we won the merch war almost last year, so things are going well. It's funny. We had I always wanted a really big Christmas tree. Yeah. Like I've always wanted one. And so, we were real tree people for a long time.
Right.
And then one year, we were at our house, and I'm a real tree person, but also a lazy person.
Yeah.
So Christmas comes, Christmas goes, tree stays there, starts to dry out a little bit. You ever try to take a Christmas tree out of a house, say 4 or 5 weeks after, when it's like brittle? So I had to sit there in my house and saw off all the branches to get it out the door one year.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, all right, we're going artificial. We went artificial. And then we came down here to Texas where everything's bigger. We've got the floor open from, it's a 2-story house, but it's got its floor to ceiling in one area of the house. I'm like, this is where we put the tree. We're going to get a 12-foot tree. So we get a 12-foot tree. We use that for a bunch of years. My wife it was a wide tree. It took up a good chunk of the room. Yeah. It was awkward to walk around. So last year she's like, I can't deal with this tree anymore. We need to get a skinnier tree. I said, look, I'm fine with trading this out for a skinny tree, but we're going taller if we're going skinnier. Yeah. So that's what we did now. So now we're at 15 feet. And I want to go to 18. If I can get her to 18, I'll do it. But right now we're at 15.
It's a weird negotiating.
It's called compromise.
I have a window like that in the front of my house, and I have a 12-foot. It needs to be taller.
Got to go bigger.
It needs to be taller.
But last year, she was complaining about it all throughout the holidays. And I said, let's just finish up this year. Then in January, all these places that make the trees are going to knock off like 30, 40% off these trees. So we bought in January this year.
Perfect.
Threw the thing in the garage. Luckily, it was actually in the box. And then we have a tree this year. That is, I will say, I love. Like, it is awesome. Yeah. It's huge. It's really tall. It looks great.
Well, especially with your wife. Your wife's 2.5 feet tall, so that it looks like an even taller tree in there.
People are like, "How about tall is that tree? 68 feet?" No, my wife is just 3'4".
She's a small woman. She's diminutive, but she is high energy. I was watching her little Praise Jesus gift wrap on Instagram the other day, and I was like, "This woman, I don't know how you do it, Stu, because you're a reasonably subdued human being."
It's the only person she could be with.
Yeah,
right? Like would be someone reasonably subdued.
She, like I say about CJ, she makes coffee nervous. So, all right, Chris put us up to some kind of concoction for Christmas here. Apparently, this is a thing that's going on. Who'd you say Lindsay Lohan's pushing this, or Pepsi?
Yeah. So Lindsay Lohan and Pepsi have partnered up together, and this is what they would like you to do for Santa on Christmas Eve.
Is this like a knockoff of eggnog kind of thing here, where? Like, Stu, you and I are both on restrictive diets. So I don't know, like, I don't eat carbohydrates and sugar, and you don't eat meat. I don't know what animal products you can avoid.
Yeah, when we were setting up for this, because America's only conservative vegetarian, basically.
Yeah.
And so we're setting up, and Chris is like, hey, we're going out to get stuff. Can you eat cookies? I'm like, can I eat cookies? Like, the milk is the thing you'd probably ask about in that scenario, right. But yes, I can have cookies and milk.
And that's so. And Pepsi is not this is sugar, obviously, because Chris can't afford Diet Pepsi. But the fact, and you and I are both Diet Coke people.
Yes.
And we love Diet Coke, even though it's a neurotoxin. And this is actually looks sort of like. Are you an eggnog drinker?
I am a very limited eggnog drinker.
Yeah, I'm not. It kind of looks like a White Russian here.
Yeah, I can say.
Like, milk and liquor never has appealed to me in terms of something that I thought would be good.
This is called Pilk, by the way.
Is it Pilk?
Yeah, Pepsi milk.
It's called Pilk. Okay. I can smell the Coke or the Pepsi in it. Yeah. I can't even bring myself to say the word Pepsi naturally.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? All right, let's give this a shot. It's kind of like drinking a flat Coke.
Yeah,
kind of a flat Pepsi.
Yeah, but it's worse. It's worse than that. It is worse.
Because I'm not. Well, one, I'm not a milk drinker. Anyway, I don't believe in it. I don't think your body wants milk.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the idea
it's not
is like
coming out of a teat.
What do they call it? A live teat. Like, I feel like I'm gonna add some more Pepsi and give it one more try.
That's smart.
I think there's way too much milk. Half and half is not the right mix.
Yeah.
But wasn't there something called like an egg cream? Isn't that a thing? You guys ever hear of an egg cream?
Egg cream.
Doesn't that have to do with soda and some sort of creamy? Isn't there something? Am I imagining this? Is this a thing?
I don't know. I've heard it. I'm just not a,
Oh, I'm very full here.
You're very full. You know what this would be good with? Bourbon.
That's the thing. Now, I will say it's much better with this mix. Putting more Pepsi.
More Coke.
Or, 2/3 Pepsi, 1/3 milk.
That literally is like drinking nothing to me. Like, I get nothing here. I got a little. I can smell the Pepsi, but anyway, if you guys want to try that, and I don't know that. Like, how's the dippability on the cookie? Hey, there's a pretty good little foam on that. Just pop it up here, Mark. That's a pretty good little foam on that cookie. All right, here I'm breaking the diet. Boy, that cookie really crumbles.
The cookie's good.
Boy, that broke right down. Disintegrated. Anyway, Pilk. So, Chris, you come up with some weird stuff, dude.
I will say that, like, we should note that no one's actually drinking this. This is just a blatant marketing campaign
100%.
from Pepsi. So we're just playing into it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, but
that's what we're doing.
Wait, if it's maybe 2/3 Pepsi, a little bit of milk, I don't know that it adds anything, but it's drinkable.
I don't like Pepsi or milk, and it's not like they're going to get more appealing by combining them. So there you go. Our little Christmas holiday thing. All right, quick takes here. The Elon Musk Twitter dump.
Yeah.
What are we? We've done 5 of those things now.
I think at least 5. Yeah.
Does this end well for Elon Musk ever?
I think this ends with him, feeling not so well, then all of a sudden keeling over after he had a meal served to him by a very suspicious person that looked kind of like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what's amazing about this is it's just the summary of the story is all the things we were saying the whole time were just true. Yeah. And you never think you're going to get actual confirmation. You just say, okay, look at this. Dan Bongino, he's not getting enough retweets. And you're like, is he just complaining? He just wants more. No, they were actually just shadow banning him the whole time.
I've had the haters who have said to me on Twitter, oh, look, you got 325,000 followers and only 14 people liked this tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Are you blaming me for the lack of reach here?
Right.
Obviously, it's the system.
It is the system, and this is such a weird circumstance, right? Like I don't know that we've ever seen something like this where someone purchases a company and then seems like their main goal with purchasing it is to tell you how bad it was in the past.
How bad it has always been.
Like it's never been a thing. Right? No one does that. Everyone wants to maintain
this. This is like when Domino's Pizza a couple of years ago came out and said, you know what, our pizza was shit, and we're sorry. That it's been so bad. Like the CEO, the owner of Domino's goes, I ate one of our pizzas and damn.
That was
so
real.
We're gonna just scratch the whole recipe. And do a new pizza.
And that was incredibly successful for them.
It was.
It made me go try Domino's Pizza again.
And it's actually a pretty good pizza now.
And it's not bad. It works. So I think
I looked at that thing. I was like, this is kind of what, Elon's saying, this whole thing kind of sucks, but we're going to do it over again.
Yeah. I mean, and it's amazing to just see that like all that stuff was just true. And now we have evidence of it. I mean, you could see the shadow bans. You can see all of this in action on the screenshots. It's incredible that it's coming out like this.
The Viktor Bout. Okay, so Viktor Bout, everybody's favorite merchant of death, everybody's favorite arms dealer, of course, inspired the Nicolas Cage movie
Lord of
War, which was reasonably grotesque and a great movie, though.
But so good.
It's a great movie.
So good.
And, in exchange for Brittney Griner, is this the worst deal in the history of America?
Well, remember, we got Brittney Griner in a 6th-round pick in 2025, plus a player to be named later. So that's don't cash considerations. I believe were part of it. No, I mean it is in that way. It's really strange. Like I was thinking about this. You could make a real case to me, and I'm sure you, that trading for the woman in a situation like this, when it's a woman or a Marine,
honorable,
is the chivalrous thing to do, right? Like, but the Biden administration can't make that case because they can't even define what a woman is. So there's no way they can make that case. You have a situation here where, just like this is Russia just abusing the Biden administration, right? This is, it's not a deal at all. If we got Griner and Whelan for Bout, it wouldn't be fair. I mean, it wouldn't be fair. We might decide to do it, but it wouldn't be fair. This guy, I mean, the Nicolas Cage movie is a fun way to ingest his little resume. But this guy is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths across the world, mainly in North Africa.
He funded genocides. He funded civil wars. Or supplied the arms for them.
Yeah, I mean, like, really, these battles, these civil wars in Africa were largely like a bunch of people with machetes and people and fists. Like, that's how they were fought for a very long time.
Let's take this to a next level.
He then funded both sides of the conflict with machine guns. That it caused tons and tons of death, suffering. He did it. When he got arrested, he thought he was giving arms to the Colombian terrorists, and they said the Colombian terrorists said, hey, like, just so you know, we're going to use these to shoot down American pilots. And he said, we have the same enemy. This guy didn't know. He wasn't talking to Colombian terrorists. He was talking to U.S. agents, which is why he was in prison until very recently. Yeah. And now he's being celebrated. They're laughing at us. I mean, Russia.
Of course.
Oh, gosh, I got a call.
And
apparently a call is coming in right now.
Unlike Brittney Griner, that could be Viktor Bout right now.
It's literally a guy who works here. I'm on the show in the building.
We're probably being beamed out to the lobby.
Yes.
You can see us in the control room. I know.
Do not disturb.
That's like that dude calling out Balenciaga and they're ripping his earpiece out.
Yeah. Apologize.
The difference between Viktor Bout and Brittney Griner is he actually loves the country he's going home to. So there's that. Anyway, Stu Burguiere, the host of the Stu Does America and his stupid show, and the Fact Pack loves him. When they're watching my show, they're always going from here to the live chat over to the stupid show. What are you selling?
This one says Stu Does Coffee, which I don't know. I guess
creepy.
This one is the great. I love this one though. You can't. It's hard to see, but it's Nancy Pelosi sucks written. It looks super classy.
Yeah.
And then when people look closely, it just says Nancy Pelosi sucks in her signature, in her font. It's built off the Nancy Pelosi sucks pen, which unfortunately did sell out completely.
Yeah, I mean, you sold every pen in the world.
Yes, there's no more pens available.
Anything like at some point in time they had Sharpie markers that said Nancy Pelosi sucks. I mean, anything that would write.
That's a good idea. I will do that in a second.
Yeah, I know you will.
I'm 100% on board.
Number 2 pencils. Stu Burguiere, check him out. Don't go anywhere, folks. Listen, Christmas and the holiday season, everybody. It's time to give some gifts, and I know that's what I've been doing. I've been putting under my 12-foot Christmas tree as gifts for everybody. And the stuff I like to give is from Chamonix. The women in my life, and trust me, there's a lot of them, they love it, but so do the guys. And so from now until Christmas, Genucel's most popular package is 70% off at Genucel.com. Treat yourself and a loved one to the absolute best skincare in the world. See those troubling forehead wrinkles, fine lines, skin redness, pesky bags, and puffiness, yes, even a sagging jawline. They will disappear right before your eyes with Genucel's most popular collection. Now, look at that guy right there. Look at him. He rubbed that stuff on there, and bam! He's still ugly, but he's a good-looking man right there. Look at that. Like his face is changing before you, right there as we're watching it. It's creepy, Stu. Immediate effects is what it's called. You're going to see results in less than 12 hours guaranteed or your money back. And included in every most popular package is your free hyaluronic acid serum for skin hydration that will restore your youthful appearance. Visit Genucel.com/WatchChad now. Enter my special promo code WatchChad for an additional 10% off of your entire order. Get it today and instantly be upgraded to free express shipping. Genucel.com/WatchChad. That's GENUCEL.com/WatchChad. We'll be right back. Oh, Sarah.
Chad.
You know, we try to make nice when Stu's around. And again, what they do, and this is what I said to Stu, they try to pit us, these executives, try to pit us against each other.
It's war?
Merchants of death.
Oh.
Yeah. We're merchandise.
Right.
Merch war. I mean, what is the difference between this merch war and Viktor Bout, really? I mean, he's a merchant of death. We're merchants of war.
That's a great point.
Yeah. But ours is T-shirts, and his is about civil wars in Angola.
Yeah, you know, these are minor details.
Yeah.
I really love that shirt.
Viktor Bout has Big Nick energy. I have Big Nick energy. Oh, Sarah.
Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah, I guess. I hate,
that was convincing.
Like, I'm a gift giver, right? So when Christmas comes around, like, my love language is gift giving.
Yeah.
I love to do things for people. You know, buy meals, whatever. I love to do things.
You are the most generous person that I know.
So when Christmas comes around, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Buy you something? I've already given it to you all year long.
All year, yeah.
I've done it for you all year long.
Christmas is all year long when you know Chad Prather.
It kind of is.
To a fault, sometimes, I would say.
Did you happen? Very much to a fault. Yeah. That is a resolution that I've made with myself recently.
Good.
Is I'm going to stop doing so much for people.
Good. Good. You should.
I'm going to be, yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, there are some people who are not so grateful and a little entitled to it.
Some take advantage.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I am committed. I'll tell you this. I have people. One of the things, and I've committed to a couple of things that I'm going to start doing. Like when I go out and do live shows, I'm going to start taping them more and be more faithful to tape them and put clips on social media. Because a lot of people say, well, we don't know what you do at live shows. It's a stand-up comedy show, for those of you who don't know. And that's why, I get it. People are like, well, what is it you do? It's a fun show. It's a funny show. And so, this past weekend we had a blast. It was really good. Big crowd, fun crowd. It was a weird night because of the medical thing that happened, but we recovered from that, and he's going to be all right. So, again, I was looking at my calendar for this year, and I'm like, I basically don't have a free weekend in 23.
Yeah.
At least until May. I mean, I'm somewhere in this country on a Friday and Saturday night every weekend. And because we just announced the Buckwild Comedy Tour, so we got all those shows coming up. Starting out in Joplin, Missouri. We're going to Lincoln, Nebraska. We're going to places like Toccoa, Georgia, Nashville, Georgia. Y'all didn't even know there was a Nashville, Georgia.
No.
Yeah. I mean, January 13th, I'm going to be Lexington, Kentucky. I haven't really said anything about that. There's a bunch of shows coming all over the place. People say, well, when are you going to come to it? Whenever they'll have me. Because I'm committed at this point. Like, it's time for me to have some Chad time. Go out on the road and have a little Chad time. Can we play clip number 2? Don Lemon. Play it.
I think I would be remiss if we did not mention also the importance this plays for the LGBTQ community. Yes, as we've been talking about black women, this is big. So this is for the LGBTQ community. GLAAD releasing a statement, obviously, I'm summarizing here that they're happy, and it shows the struggles and the danger that members of the LGBT community face around the world.
Getting arrested in Russia is not a typical struggle for the LGBTQ community. Getting busted for a vape pen with hashish, that's typically not. Yeah,
I mean, maybe if she had been arrested for, being gay.
Yeah, like if they'd have just picked her up in, I don't know, Midland, Texas, for, doing 69 with another girl. I mean, like that might be where they were like kick in the door at the Dewdrop Inn, and they're like, Brittney Griner, you're going to prison for being gay. Like that might be the struggle, But why do they have to do everything? Why do they have to appropriate every single thing that happens? I just want to talk about, this is a good thing for the LGBTQ community. You know what else is a good thing for the LGBTQ community? Not breaking the law in another nation. That's a good thing to do if you're gay.
Or straight. Or black, or white, anything. Or Hispanic.
Or anything. And I don't like the thing I'm most tired of with all of this stuff, other than the injustice of we gave an international arms dealer back to Russia.
I mean, you kind of skimmed over that part. Let's not lose sight of the fact that it's a big deal.
I did the social media video on it, and here's my thing. I'm not mad at Brittney Griner. I'm glad she came home. I mean, maybe you'll love America a little more now. I'm glad you came home. I don't want anybody to be in a Russian prison, including Russians. I don't, I don't want Paul Whelan to be there. And he wasn't a spy. I've had all these people come at me and say, "Oh, he was a spy, and that's more important than a pot." No, he wasn't a spy. Wasn't then, isn't now. He's not a spy. It's a bunch of baloney. That's what Russian propaganda has done to you. And no, these two situations were not connected. They weren't. But the fact that people out there still support the Biden administration, that is what pisses me off. Like, how much can this cat screw up?
And not just screw up, but I mean, specific to the military community as well. Because remember, they were up in arms when there was an anonymous source who said that Trump said mean things about military members. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
When he was still president, and it was just like, Trump hates service people. He's the worst ever.
He was putting prices on Russians. He was letting Russia put prices on heads and stuff like that.
Right. Now you have Joe Biden, who stranded a bunch of military members in Afghanistan at the beginning of all of this.
Remember when he let go of these Taliban fighters and got 0 people back? Well, I seem to remember saying that was a bad idea back then, too. But, you guys only hear what you want to hear.
Right.
Again, you have to look at how many people Trump did get released. I mean, he got the ball, the ball dude released from, the basketball guys. One of the Ball brothers. I don't know what to call him. I don't know what his first name is. Leon. I don't know what his name is.
Where are you talking about? North Korea?
From China.
Oh, China.
when he was in
I
China.
think he got a couple released from North Korea as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, he got some people brought back, and then he got the guy brought back from North Korea that died, passed away.
That's right.
But again, that's, Trump got a lot of people released.
Yeah.
Biden administration is almost like they're doing it on purpose. Like they're
truly.
they're in bed with Russia. You talk about Russian collusion. Can you imagine though if Trump had done this and Viktor Bout had gone home to Russia? If Trump had made that trade, oh my God, it would have been. Oh, see, he's in bed
Russian
with Vladimir
collusion.
Putin.
Yep.
He's in bed.
All
See,
over
Putin
again.
tells him what to do. He's Putin's little bitch.
He's Putin's puppet.
Yeah, it'd have been all of that crap.
Yep.
So it is a terrible trade. I mean, it shouldn't have been a trade.
No. Well, okay, at the very least, you would say, okay, we're giving you someone whose nickname is the Merchant of Death. Probably we could arrange for 2 of our civilians to come home, right? Like, I don't understand why it was just a one for, if you're going to say make the trade.
Yeah.
How is that a 1 for 1? That's not even an even exchange.
Yeah, and in 10 months, Brittney Griner's lost a few steps on her sprint. Like, her speed is way down. In the WNBA, she probably can't even hit a three-pointer at this point because she hadn't been taking any shots lately. So they're going to have to completely rebuild that basketball player. So it's a bad trade, in my opinion. I just don't think she's going to put up the numbers she once did, And you start – I mean, like, that's a hell of a basket. Like, if you were a basketball player and your nickname was the Merchant of Death, like, I'm bombing you from downtown, playing power forward for the Dallas Mavericks, the Merchant of Death. Before you get slayed, all you hear is the swoosh of the net. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. See, I'm telling you, but no, we got Brittney Griner.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what the damn WNBA.
Well, I was going to say, at least a lot more people now know that the WNBA exists.
Exists.
It's nice. It's nice for them.
There's that. This is how stupid they are. That WNBA player came out 2 weeks ago and said that they want to make a proportion. They want to make money proportionate to the ticket sales. And to the profits that the WNBA makes. They don't expect to make the same amount that the guy basketball players make in the NBA, but they want to make it proportion to the profits. You are subsidized by the NBA by $10 million a year. So guess what? You don't get a salary. You now owe the league.
Right, exactly.
That's how stupid that logic is.
I say go for it.
Go for it.
Your terms are acceptable.
Basketball players did not take a finance class at the university. Awesome is the feeling that is sparked from the unexpected, and that's exactly what the curators from Bespoke Post have delivered in their new winter lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every single month. One of my favorite boxes is the cask box, where each barrel is handcrafted from American white oak, which has been charred to create a smokier cocktail. No matter what you have going on this winter, Box of Awesome has you covered, from cozy essentials to travel must-haves and cocktail kits. Box of Awesome has everything you need for this winter. So if you want to get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. The answers are going to help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Each box is valued at around $70, but you're only going to pay a fraction of that price. Plus, with each Box of Awesome, you're supporting small business. 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a small up-and-coming brand. It's free to sign up. You can skip a month and cancel anytime. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com. Enter the code WATCHCHAD at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com. Code WATCHCHAD. 20% off your first box, boxofawesome.com, and use code WATCHCHAD. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. The great divining rod of history points ever back to those from whom we should distinguish ourselves in the annals of human activity, or to those whom we should strive to emulate in the hopes that we'll get it 1/10 as right as they did. Nowhere is this distinction made more clear than in a recent tweet storm of gay tomfoolery, but we'll get to that in a minute. Do you know how banks supposedly teach employees to recognize counterfeit money? They do it by making sure that they are intimately familiar with the makeup of the real deal. So, with the obvious derivative axiom set firmly in mind, let us examine a portion of a speech given to a room full of troops late in World War II. Here's just a snippet, and I quote, "We have the finest food, the finest equipment, the best spirit, and the best men in the world. Why, by God, I actually pity those poor sons of bitches we're going up against. By God, I do. My men don't surrender. He went on to say, sure, we want to go home. We want this war over with. The quickest way to get it over with is to go get the bastards who started it. The quicker they are whipped, the quicker we can go home. The shortest way home is through Berlin and Tokyo. And when we get to Berlin, I'm personally going to shoot that paper-hanging son of a bitch, Hitler, just like I'd shoot a snake. Folks, that is the military spirit of a sadly and frighteningly bygone era. The speech belonged to General George S. Patton, a man who was not only brave, but inspired bravery and loyalty among his troops like only a few have done down through history. And now that we've had our patriotic fun, let us contrast this patron saint of wartime speeches with a modern-day counterpart. Allow me to introduce retired Colonel Brian T. Donnelly, a decorated officer from the generation you got when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. If you're not watching, what you'll see before you is a military man who's also wearing, of all things, a mask fashioned to look like the head of a dog. Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't stutter. This is because Donnelly and so many like him are into what's known as puppy play. I'll allow a moment of silence for you to gag back your lunch and resettle yourself if you happen to know what that means. If you take a look at the images on Twitter, and Chris is putting them up here now, you get a pretty shocking image of what the military of our time is starting to look like. In addition to the already disrespectful and no doubt protocol-breaking habit of wearing a dog's head mask with your uniform, there are pictures of this dude in all sorts of compromising positions, including exposing his penis on base, hanging out in various stages of undress all over the place. In fact, and even in the middle of performing a sex act on, I don't know, what would you call it, fellow dog man? He's got the other guy tied to the bed and is clearly playing around with his red rocket. Shit, somebody needs to call PETA on this dude. Now, by the way, lest you should think that this is relegated purely to the colonel himself, it's worth noting that Sam Brenton, you know, the nuclear waste management guy who looks like Matt Damon in drag and has the 2 stolen bags to prove it, yeah, he's into this crap too. Now, far be it from me to come out and suggest that you, as a free American citizen, should not be able to engage in whatever consensual weird-ass nonsense you so desire. If pissing on a fire hydrant and sniffing your buddy's butthole is the thing that makes your juices flow, by God, you go to town, my friend. I just don't want to hear about it necessarily, but here all of my tolerance breaks down. Here I become the bigot, the homophobe, the hopeless Obama-era, bitter clinger who doesn't want things to change so damn drastically. You see, we need killers in our military. I'm going to say that again because I think it's really important, especially right now, to realize what the job is and the kind of people who are best qualified to do it. We need killers in our military. People who have a level of devotion to duty and image so powerful it is all or nearly all consuming. The warrant of deadly combat among the humans of the world is no place for someone who wants to be a puppy. I don't care how many anabolic steroids you took to get jacked, and it's not that you're gay, bro. It's that you're obviously hitched primarily to a sexual identity, when at best you should be hitched to the collective identity of those who sacrifice for us and whom we honor the most deeply. About the bravest thing this dude is probably capable of is sucking a bullet out of another man's dick. But I digress.
As always, you paint quite the image.
Yeah. Well, look at there. There's the good General Patton right there, 1945, and then this piece of shit who looks like he's waiting on a Scooby snack. I mean, solve the mystery and get in the van and leave, you freak. The hell? I mean, this is insane.
It's very embarrassing.
Screw the decorum. Clint Emerson, former Navy SEAL, he's been on the show numerous times, great author. Clint Emerson, he texted me. I was at the grocery store. You know what I do at the grocery store.
I do.
And I was at the grocery store. I was on like aisle 4, and he goes, did you have a birthday? And I said, yeah, I turned 50. I said, we're old. He goes, well, you're 1 year ahead of me, so I got some time. And I was like, yeah, but you've killed a lot more people than me. And that ages you. That ages you. And it's true, because I to date have not killed anyone that I know of. Mm-hmm. And he has a resume. That's what I want in the military. I want to be able to drop a whole platoon of Clint Emersons off on the beach in nothing but their underwear and a knife between their teeth, and they come back 5 minutes later with a whole bunch of blood on them.
Do you worry that we're too far gone to get back to that point?
Yeah, because we've pandered to this crap for so long. What it's going to take is a decimation, right? Some foreign army, some invader is just going to wipe us out. And because again, you see these people, they don't know what war is all about.
Right.
I've used this as an example so many times. In 1914, the early 1900s, humanism had so taken root in Western civilization that everybody believed that society was getting better because man was innately good. And then World War I happened, and they realized man is not innately good because we suddenly had all of these machines that, flying things in battle and mustard gas and trench warfare and these new ways to kill each other, repeating rifles and things like that it was mass-scale slaughter. I mean, France lost 10 million men. France has never recovered. The fact that France was so easily invaded and occupied is because they didn't have men. And then they couldn't have children because there was no men to have children with. There was old people and women. That's all France was left with. The nation was decimated. That's why they're fruity to this day. That's why they're a known center place for fashion, because they lost all their masculinity. Wow. It's true. They were decimated in World War I. People are, shut up, learn history.
I've never thought about
100 years later
why the fashion industry.
100 years later, France is still pussies. Because you think of France, you don't go, "Ooh, I'm intimidated."
Right.
They lost all of their men in World War I.
Yeah.
They were decimated. 10 million men. They never recovered from that. France is not a large nation.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's going to take that, because even if you are a good masculine man who would really do the military some good, do you want to join right now?
They don't.
It's the same thing with law enforcement.
And the thing is, most people who join the military statistically come from a family of military, right? And so their dads were in the military, their granddads were in the military, and it's just a generational thing. And now they're like, no.
Right.
So they're not able to recruit from those families anymore, because those families, they come from, dad was a tough, army guy. He was in Vietnam. He had his stories. And, then you come down 2 generations later, it's like, no, we don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of this woke nonsense.
But Peter the puppy will be like, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to the military.
Well, especially when you can get away with everything. Because what I said there in that monologue is so true. You're wanting to be an individual. I'm going to put my puppy mask on and just show the world what an individual I am. That's not what the military is for.
No.
They want to get rid of your individuality. Mm-hmm. You want to be an individual? Go back and watch Full Metal Jacket. Go back and watch Full Metal Jacket and see what they did to Private Pyle.
Yeah.
And check it out. They don't want you being weird and different. You're not supposed to, anyway.
Well, yeah, I'd say it's counterintuitive.
Yeah. My holidays are jam-packed. I don't know if y'all know that or not. But luckily, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals make it easy to fuel up fast when I'm on the go. And I love these things. I've never had a bad meal from them. It's incredible. And you save time with the meals. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. And they now offer 34 meals plus 36 plus add-on options like smoothies, juices, snacks, and a whole lot more. And they'll keep you going no matter what you have going on. It's cheaper than dining out and takeout. Put the money you save towards holiday fun and you time. And thanks to Factor's commitment to ingredients with integrity, you can enjoy the really flavorful chef-crafted meals, guilt-free. They got the creamy Parmesan chicken, the 3-bean vegan chili. There's a special occasion meal out there. Gourmet Plus is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast upscale options done easy. And when things get crazy and hectic during the holidays, Factor's flexible. Change your order up every week. You can get from 4 to 18 meals a week. You can pause, reschedule your deliveries anytime. Stress less over mealtimes this holiday season. Factor's no prep, no mess meals, free up time otherwise spent shopping, cooking, doing cleanup. You can fully enjoy the holidays without wasting hours in the kitchen. So not only does Factor offer fast, simple solutions when I'm too busy to cook, they also help me stay on top of my goals with offerings like Protein Plus and Keto. Stay on track. It's definitely going to come in handy during the holidays. Factor has everything you need for a week of flavorful, nutritious food and eats. And in addition to ready-to-eat meals, they have the cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, energy protein, veggie sides, a whole lot more to keep you energized during the holiday. Here's where you go. Go to go.factor75.com/Chad60. That's a long one, so listen again, okay? Go.factor75.com/Chad60. You can use promo code Chad60, get 60% off your first box. That's go.factor75.com/Chad60, get 60% off your first box. We'll be right back. Yesterday, we had Tim Barton, and we were talking about George Patton, and got this letter, this Christmas letter to his mother here. And have you tried to read this thing? Huh? On Christmas Day. And we tried to read it. You can pick out some words, just your brain registers some of them. I'm going to post this on my Instagram story. So if you go to @WatchChad and click on it, I'm going to post pictures of this and see if you can read it. See if you can check it out. So head over to @WatchChad on Instagram and go in the stories. That's the thing that disappears every 24 hours. So the little thing that lasts 15 seconds. Put your finger on it, see if you can read it. And then, of course, he's got some other letters over here. And this is actually the flag that was draped on Patton's coffin. So this, you never know with the stuff that's going to turn up around here. This was the prayer card. This was the prayer for weather.
Oh.
Right here that he had commissioned. He had the chaplain. There wasn't, in the prayer book, there wasn't anything for weather.
Huh.
For good weather, so he could go kill people.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you need good weather to go kill people.
It's a great prayer. I mean, if George Patton told me to write a prayer, I'd write a good one too. But anyway, they had all of these. They gave them to all the soldiers, so that he wanted all of the soldiers praying this every day. And then, I mean, you know, there's some intimidating things around here. You've got Patton's sword. I mean, this is George Patton's sword. He designed it. Like what? He wanted it straight and sharp. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean,
no,
do you want to touch just the tip, Sarah?
No, I mean, kinda.
Yeah, you want to touch my tip?
I'm scared.
That's George's tip right there. It's a pretty sharp blade too.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear that it's sharp as you pull it out.
Yeah, like it's got a couple of little serrated places on it there, and I don't know, I'm probably messing up some kind of decorum. But then again, there's a dude with a dog mask on. Right, so I think decorum.
This is the least of their worries right now.
For the most part, is out the door. But I mean, this is George Patton's sword here, and
wow,
a little piece of history.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd have told me, like my history teacher at the University of Georgia, when he told me I wasn't paying attention, if I'd have told him one day I'm going to be holding George Patton's sword, or over there, you know, wheeling around in Franklin Delano Roosevelt's wheelchair.
Yeah, they would not have believed you.
Yeah. Or dropping the blade on a French guillotine.
I don't know that I believe that you didn't pay attention in history class.
I did. I had great history professors throughout my college tenure. Big shout out to Dr. Jack Lehman, the best. Anybody that went to school with me, they remember Western Civ. They remember Western Man is what we called that
That's
class.
Great.
Western Man. I could probably still teach that. I still have the books, the syllabi.
It really is important for a subject like history, I feel like, to have a really good teacher that makes it interesting because, I mean, myself included, I think a lot of people, it just tends to get boring to them if it's not taught in the right way.
When you can still remember the name of your history professor.
Yeah, right.
And you had a relationship with them.
And you're 50?
Yeah. And he was Jack Lehman from Philly. And one of the best storytellers ever.
That's great.
In the world. But yeah, you learned aspects of history. And you know, that's the thing. The key to history is making it come alive. That's what I love about Tim and David Barton and even Glenn.
Yeah.
They're so good at that. You know, Chris knows a lot.
Yeah.
Chris, walk over to that studio with Chris
from them,
and you don't understand what the hell he's saying.
But he knows.
He knows damn well. I'm encouraging people to just come out and laugh with me. You come out to Greenville, South Carolina, and get your tickets for Arlington, Texas on the 21st. We won't do any history. Won't do any history. I've been working on some new material, though, that's really, really funny, just talking about getting older as far as how you look at relationships and the fact that I cry more.
Aww.
I've always cried. Like I'll cry. Like I'm sentimental in that regard. But like you just cry more, you know.
Do you cry at like lesser things?
I cried at Rocky. The other day I rewatched Rocky. You know, Rocky is a love story.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a boxing movie. It's a love story. And I was like, because he's like, you know, Adrian, she's got gaps and I got gaps. We get together, we fill gaps. And it's like, I just want somebody to fill my gaps, you know? And then at the end, shut up. And then at the end, she's running. He's like, oh, Adrian. She's like, Rocky. She's running down to the ring, after it's a draw. And her little red beanie gets popped off, and she looks back, and she keeps on running. And then she gets down there, climbs in the ring, and his first words out of his mouth when he sees her, he goes, what happened to your hat? He just got his ass just beat half to death, and he's like dying with brain injury. But his first thing is, where's your hat? And I'm like, like that's love, right? That you just know, like, where's your hat?
Did that make you cry?
Yes.
No.
That's love, man. And the fact that Sylvester Stallone was smart enough to write that into that movie, that even in that moment, his thought was her, right? I'm like, damn it, man. Damn it.
I know.
And I'm telling you, dude, it's like, here's this guy. He just had the opportunity of his life, And so then I've been working my way through Rocky. So then the next day I watched Rocky 2. And they start with the fight from Rocky 1.
Uh-oh.
And they play the last 2 rounds of the deal. And I was like, and it's ugly crying too, because I make that sound. I'm like, it's like you're half puking and getting emotional.
Yeah. You're trying to hold it in.
I don't want to be this person right now. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at in life, man. Just every little thing. And my son, he turned 16 the other day, and then I'm like, yeah. So what did I do? I bought a new Bronco.
I want to see that baby.
Did you see it in the parking lot?
Yeah.
It's a nice ride.
You enjoyed it. I mean, you got quite the drive. So the drive-in.
Yeah.
So you had quite the chance to.
I have multiple vehicles now to choose from. Yeah. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Paying for that thing makes me cry too. Folks, this has been our last week for 2022, and so I want you to tune in tomorrow night. Going to have Glenn Beck. Is Glenn tomorrow night or Thursday night? Thursday night. So you still have another day. Go to where podcasts are offered and leave a question for Glenn. Some of y'all are asking some weird questions, and I'm not saying I'm above asking them. But
leave a 5-star review while you're
there.
Leave
a 5-star rating, and then leave in your review. Ask a question for Glenn. Okay, do that, and come on, it doesn't take but a second to do it. And I know there's a bunch of you out there doing it. You're expecting everybody else to do it. I need you to go do it. You, or you know what? Chad Prather Show may not even be here in 23. I may just keep driving that Bronco into the sky. Anyway, support Sara Gonzales, shop Sarah G and American Beauty by Sarah. Go to watchchad.com for all the fun stuff is. Go see me on a show. Get your tickets for Greenville and Arlington, Texas, as well as College Station. We'll see you tomorrow. I love you. God bless you. Bye.